You see the which is the can't remember any of these movie titles today. The recent film with Brolin where it's like set in 50s Hollywood.
Yes, Inherent Vice.
Maybe.
Or are there two different ones?
I'm gonna look it up now.
There's also one he's in where he's like a gangster in the 50s, right?
Yeah, that was a Gangster Squad.
What about American Gangster? What was that one? What was Gangster's Paradise?
I think that's Weird Al. Let's see. Hail Caesar is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see that one.
So it's really good.
He's in a lot of like 50s films, I feel. He just the
Pulls
50s
off
face.
he was in the 50s Men in Black, playing
That's correct.
young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, that was a
Very convincingly.
odd thing.
Have you guys started recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been recording this whole time.
Damn.
We're ready to remember all the Josh Brolin movies.
Goonies.
Like
is really
Thrashing?
good. Andy Molnar's never seen Goonies, so we can never talk about
You
it
what?
on this
I'll watch it.
podcast.
I'll watch it one of these days.
How? I don't even understand. I don't.
I don't know. We all have a blind spot somewhere.
I've seen every good movie
Scoot
ever,
over a
guys.
I don't believe you. My name is Bradley Jones,
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
and this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to recall the events of a film that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Neverending Story.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we killed. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
Not a lot.
I remember
quite a bit of this movie.
out of all the movies we've talked about, I've seen this one the most recently.
Okay.
Probably within the last 5 years.
Oh, that's before. That's way
Actually,
sooner than me.
actually, I will say I probably have seen this in the last 5 years. Literally don't remember anything from it.
So it doesn't matter that you saw it in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it was, in my mind, it was kind of forgettable.
I'm sure it's been longer than that for me, but I feel pretty confident that I remember most of this movie.
I remember seeing the cover of this in video stores and it being very intriguing. With like the face of the girl and then you see the dragon. It's very busy.
The art of the VHS cover looks similar to like Star Wars or something like that.
Okay, I don't
Like
remember.
it's a lot
that
of
cover at
images
all,
kind of
but I
fading
can-
in and out of each other.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, very Star Wars poster-esque. Yeah,
Yeah, but it had its own identity too. It wasn't like a ripoff of Star Wars.
it's a
It was
ripoff,
just,
Brad.
No, I
deal with it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like Army of Darkness, like quality ripoff, but
the cover of Army of Darkness was
Yeah.
a ripoff.
Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
So, our hero Bastion is the name of the kid.
What?
Classic name,
Bastion? Like,
Bastion.
Is it Sebastian?
probably, and it's like apostrophe Bastion.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Because this was what was this? When would this movie come out?
1984.
Yeah.
I think
It's an oldie.
it's a middle 80s.
So is this the oldest movie done so far? When was Temple of Doom?
84.
The same year.
Same year.
Yeah, we
All
haven't.
right, let's look up the
But
month of the release date.
84 was a giant year for movies if you go back. I think
Okay.
Was it like Ghostbusters? Yeah.
Beverly Hills
Oh
Cop
man!
2.
Oh man!
A lot of great films.
I would say Beverly Hills Cop 1 came out that year.
Maybe one. But whatever it was a giant. Made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I remember, I think Ghostbusters made the most money in 84. This was on a trivia contest I was in like a while ago. But
Brag about it, why don't you?
yeah,
Jesus.
I got a $20 gift card to the gas station of Speedway.
That was the grand prize.
Grand prize.
So we meet Bastion, and I think he's already running from bullies.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I wrote that he gets picked on or bullied.
Yeah, he definitely
constantly.
he's definitely being chased by bullies.
Yeah, and he tries to like hide in a dumpster.
Yep.
But they end up like chasing him down anyway.
They find him and then they like close the dumpster on him or something.
Wait, he's already in the dumpster though. They just closed the dumpster?
Well, I think they
throw him in
they
the
throw
dumpster.
him in the dumpster.
And then he gets out of the
Oh.
dumpster, but they're like, hey, we put you in the dumpster, so they try to do it again.
That could be.
And he runs away again, and he finds solace inside of an old bookstore.
Yeah. Yep.
Really? I wrote down that it was his grandpa's attic.
It is.
It's an attic at the school later.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The most
Okay.
where most of it takes place is in like the attic of the school, but he finds the story that never ends is in an old bookstore.
Right.
Okay.
And there's an old man there that tricks him into actually stealing the book.
Yes.
The kid sees the book and the shopkeeper's like, it's not a book for kids or not for you. and then the shopkeeper ends up like taking a phone call.
It's like some reverse psychology shit.
It's reverse psychology because Bastian takes the book and then he gets up to like yell at him, but he smiles like that kid's gonna learn a lesson.
Why does he want him to take that book? Like, what's in that book?
Because he knows that book can help Bastian.
It'll help him teach lessons to stand up for himself and be a more positive person, which doesn't happen.
Wait, if he wants him to be a more positive person, why is he baiting him to steal a book? Like, wouldn't that make him a bad person?
It is teaching him look, you gotta spend money to make money. Baby. you gotta commit the crime to learn not to commit crimes.
And this bookkeeper doesn't know how to make money because he's giving little kids books.
It's not how. That's not.
You
were all about sustainable business models, Brad. You were all upset about the illegal animal testing in Beethoven.
It just doesn't seem feasible.
It's got to be a better way.
It's not financially.
Like, why didn't he just convince the boy to? I mean, it would be good storytelling, but why do they just say, like, you need this book? Like, why don't you just use this book?
Because, look, teenage kids aren't going to listen to old men that tell them to read books. They're going to be like, I don't want to read your book, old man.
I don't want to read the book that my that old man wants me to read.
This kid not like reading?
Oh, he loves reading. That's what he's like a big nerd.
He's a nerd. That's why he's getting chased by bullies.
Yeah.
So it would probably be easier just to convince him, like, hey, this is a good book, you should read it.
It's just like a way to like have the shopkeeper be a different side of himself, I guess. Or he's trying to be coy.
I mean, I guess, Andy, if that's what in Beethoven, they could have also gone to the pet store and just bought Beethoven. I don't know.
I know, but okay, there's gotta be a better way to do this.
No, this way is fine.
It's just storytelling.
To convince him to steal a... Okay, fine. Let's
so the kid gets the book, and I think he goes home.
I don't know if he goes home or if he goes...
His dad definitely plays a part in...
Oh, man, I don't remember any of that. I just remember, like, getting the book to reading it in the attic.
Because his dad is, like, yelling at him for
something. Yeah, I think I kind of remember
I forget when that happens. If it's at the beginning.
Spielberg film?
Steven Soderbergh? I'm pretty sure it's a Wolfgang Peterson film.
Okay. It is, actually.
I believe that.
I think he had just made Das Boot, like, right before this. Two years before.
One of the others.
I mean, they're pretty much the same movie.
Right. They both take place on a submarine.
Yeah.
This is like a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made Das Boot, like, right before this. And then he made this. It's like a very drastic change. Making, like, a surreal... kind of like...
Well, I think that's
kind of George Miller-y, right? I mean, he went from Mad Max to, like, Babe. Did like a ton of Happy Feet.
Yeah. And I do think Neverending Story was more popular in Germany. I could be wrong, but I feel like that had like more of a following.
Okay.
To that. Maybe it's even from a German writer translated to English. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the original book.
So his dad is yelling at him.
Yeah, for like not taking out the trash or some dumb thing.
Wow, this kid is sad.
Yeah, he's a sad sack.
He's getting bullied and then he's getting yelled at by his dad.
And then he finds a blank check.
Oh, wait, that's a different film. He gets hit by a car. That's also a dragon.
Yes, that's right. So it's like the next day he's going to school again and the bullies chase him again.
Do they?
I think so.
I think he's in school and his teacher like picks on him or something. Because he ends up going into the attic to read the book.
I thought he was running from the bullies again and like escapes by hiding in the attic. And then he's like, oh wow, this attic's all crazy cool. And there's like a wicked storm outside or something. And
I think he ditches school and like because school ends and he's still in the attic. Like he peeks out through the door.
Yeah,
you're right.
Remember
you're
that.
right.
Like he's
like
up in the attic and he should have left, but he just decided not to.
Right. Because I think I still think it's because he's trying to avoid the bullies though.
Maybe.
And he hates school because he gets bullied at school.
That could be. I thought he was cutting class or something like that.
I mean, I think he is cutting class, but
yeah. So then we finally get him reading the book and he opened to Fantasia, which is a beautiful mystical fantasy land.
So he's like now in the place? Like
he's still reading the book.
He's just reading the book.
Okay.
So there's two things happening in the movie. Hit the real world and the world in Fantasia.
Okay. So they're showing this world in Fantasia as he's reading the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of Princess Bridey.
Okay.
Very Princess Bridey.
So yeah, he's reading the book himself in the attic of the school. And then, the movie shows us what's occurring in the book that he's reading.
Does it open with Rockbiter having a conversation about the nothing already? Or does it open with...
Can you be more specific?
Or does it open with Atreyu getting the quest? Because I forget which one happens first.
I feel like it starts with the beginning scene with the rock guy and the nothing.
Okay, yeah.
What are these things?
So there's a giant rock monster.
Where have you been, Andy?
Listen, this is where my notes end.
Oh boy.
So a giant rock monster is talking to a guy with a snail about something called the nothing.
Yeah.
Which is taking over Fantasia.
Okay.
The nothing is basically just destroying.
It's destroying their world.
Their
And
world.
so it's like coming and it's been progressively destroying more and more. So he's like telling them that he just basically left Rock People Land because it destroyed everything there.
Yeah, the rock started to taste.
Why
like
is this
nothing.
happening?
That's the whole.
They
It's
don't
the
know.
mystery of the film.
That's the
Okay.
mystery. We're
Okay.
wondering.
So they're like, oh, we need to like go, and it starts to destroy part of the forest, and they all run away. And then I think we get to Atreyu,
Yeah.
who is sort of like he's the hero within the book, whereas Bastion's the hero outside the book.
Yeah, so there's a town meeting with all like the high people in Fantasia. There's like a
In
guy
the Ivory Tower.
in the
Yeah.
Ivory Tower. There's a dude with like a weird head.
They
a
like
weird
change
bald
his
head.
faces. There's many faces or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, all these
different
like crazy,
prosthetics.
fantastical people are meeting as like the High Council of the land.
Trying to figure out what to do about the nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we meet the princess here?
Yes, because she's in. Yeah, she's.
I don't think we
You
do.
don't meet-
I don't think we meet her till the very end of the film.
I feel like. We
Oh,
see her
really?
beforehand.
And she is the childlike empress.
Yeah,
Is her name.
yeah.
But I think
Wait, she's childlike or she's a child?
both.
What? Well,
But she could also be an old lady. And
if
maybe it's
she's a
just never
child,
said.
then she's not child. Then is she childlike? Because she's just a child.
Well, you're jumping ahead to the whole
Yeah.
plot of the.
Listen, though, I mean, let's dig into this.
But-
No, that's the whole crux of the film is that aspect of what's her name.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
So.
did I write this?
So the council's trying to figure out what to do, and they decide they need to send someone on a quest.
Right.
I don't remember what the goal of the quest is. Is
The
it
quest
to find out about the nothing?
It's
or-
either to meet with the childlike empress or just.
Oh.
I think it's to do that. I think
Oh,
that's
so
what his
they're in this
goal is.
ivory tower trying to get to the Empress?
I
I
feel like
think so.
she's at the tower.
She is not.
She's totally.
At the
Oh, I
tower.
can't wait to. We're gonna watch this, and one of us is gonna be right,
Because at the
Oh, yeah.
or neither of us is.
or maybe maybe she is at the tower, and
feel
maybe
like she
he comes. Atreyu comes back at the very end to the tower defeated. I guess.
Yeah. Oh, whoa! Spoiler alert!
Heyo.
What if?
But
what if
That's what
they?
the whole podcast is about.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I'm backpedaling. I think the childlike empress is there.
Yeah.
And Atreyu goes on the quest.
Yes.
Is he already trying to find the person who knows about the nothing?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Where, like, what his quest is supposed to lead to. If it's supposed to lead to like an object or something. But the idea is, they send him on this quest to try and find something that will help them.
They also give him the Orin, which is like a thing in the movie.
It's like a medallion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes up
what does that do?
in the sequel, it granted wishes.
Oh,
I don't
we're
think-
not talking about this.
I know.
I
that.
genuinely don't think it does like anything.
I don't think it does
in this
that.
movie.
It just looks really cool.
and
just
it's on
a
the
couple
cover of
things.
the book is
Right.
the same
Well,
medallion. And so he gets sent with him and his horse.
Artax.
Artax, yes.
Artax, yep.
Are sent on this
Who's
quest.
like a pure white horse, right?
I think it's a.
Might be.
Yeah, it is.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And so then there's like a big montage of him riding for
Right.
forever. So he rides through like plains and stuff, and
Yep.
rides.
And the world
hills.
gets like more darker as it goes on. Like there's like swampy areas.
He gets
and-
to the
and-
swamp, yeah. And
Swamp of Sadness.
yes, the idea is that the swamp like makes you depressed,
Right.
in addition to being a swamp, which
Oh,
Sucks.
that's really sad.
Yeah.
yeah. And this is like the saddest thing that it like
Ever
as
happens
oh
in a
my
kid's
God.
film ever. But I think before that happens, he meets the turtle.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's I think it's before that sad thing
Oh.
happens that he meets Morla the turtle.
I think it's after the
Okay.
sad part because
It's- okay,
it's like
it's
he
after the
he
sad part.
gets saved by the turtle.
Okay, so Artax dies in the swamp because
Yeah,
it
and
is
it's so sad.
because it just
Okay,
the sadness encompasses Artax.
I don't know if
and
it's
just
his
doesn't wanna go on.
acting or the writing or the whole scene, but it's like, yeah, when he's like trying, because like the idea is that Artax, I guess, starts to sink into the swamp and
It just
loses
gives
the
up.
will to live. Yeah,
That's what the
it's
swamp
so
does.
sad. So the horse just like lets itself sink into the mud and drown.
Wow.
And
And it's long.
it is a long scene of him pleading with his horse to please
move.
keep going and please come on, and like it's his best friend, and
I'm getting
was
chills
it's,
right now. Talking
It's seriously
about
a depressing and sad scene, which I mean, it's the swamp of sadness, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
But oh
I mean,
my
that's like
gosh.
it. The poor horse
that just basically
sinks
explains
away.
like depression right
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
it's hard.
It ruins kids.
So then he has to go on alone after the horse drowns.
But I remember there being a scene where like someone's shouting out Atreyu.
That comes that
Oh,
will
that's
happen.
not that? Because I swear to God, I always thought that the horse's name was Atreyu because I remember someone shouting that, but I remember the horse died.
That
And I
comes
know I'm getting them mixed up for sure.
pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it does.
So he meets up with Morla, which is a giant turtle.
He's
that
like
lives in the
like
swamp.
trying to get through the mud, and
Yeah.
he's even getting tired and exhausted, and finally he like kind of collapses, and then the ground he's on rises up, and it turns out it's this turtle that lives in the swamp.
Okay.
And so he talks to the turtle, and the turtle's like,
the turtle sneezes a bunch and knocks him off a tree. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So I guess the turtle agrees to help him.
Yeah, the turtle, or he's asking the turtle questions.
Oh,
okay. I'm thinking now that the childlike empress sent him to specifically seek out Morla to get advice.
Okay.
And then Morla tells him about finding
the chosen one or something.
Yeah.
And so this is sort of where you start to get the meta plot, where the story in the book references the reader of the book. His quest is basically to find the person who can save them from the nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be the main character.
And
that's the kid reading the book.
Yeah, that is the kid, which we find out kind of near the end, and we realize that's who he's been talking about this whole time. So the reader has to save the world. The reader has to choose to save the world in the book.
Oh, like a choose your own adventure?
End of the movie.
Yeah, so Morla tells that to him, and Atreyu
ended?
Atreyu moves through the swamp more, and then we've seen this earlier, but the Gamork, which is this crazy wolf that's hunting Atreyu throughout the film.
This wolf wants to kill him.
And it's like running through the swamp at Atreyu, and just almost Atreyu's about to drown in the swamp and get eaten by the wolf when Falkor comes and saves his life.
So this is where
that's the name of the thing.
So this is where we meet Falkor, who is this creepy
he's
a lizard dragon dog.
He's a dog.
He is a luck dragon.
He's a dog. He's definitely a dog.
He's a dragon.
But he has like scales that always kind of creeped me out as a kid, and his
like puppet eyes like blink really slowly.
The scales are what creeped me out as a kid, because he's got like fur and scales, sort of.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of growth.
It's really creepy. Yeah, it does. It looks like some sort of skin condition or something. You're like, oh boy, that's
by a dermatologist.
So Atreyu passes out, gets saved by Falkor, and Atreyu wakes up on a mountaintop with Falkor, and Falkor kind of acts super kind of weird.
Yeah.
He, like, asks Atreyu, like, scratch his big old ears.
That's
and
right.
stuff,
Yeah, he's like, please scratch right behind my ear. And then does some doggy stuff because he's like a half dog, half dragon.
Yeah.
So
he's what a dog would talk like
Falkor?
and be annoying with. Like, if a dog could talk, it would be Falkor, and it'd be annoying as heck.
So why did Falkor come in and save Atreyu?
He is a luck dragon, so he gives out luck when people need it the most, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's ever explicitly said, but that's how
explained. Yeah, that's
my theory.
Convinced me.
Is that the only time that we see Falkor?
No.
Okay. So he's a reoccurring character.
You'll see him a few more times. He's an awesome puppet too.
So meanwhile, like we've said, the kid's reading the book, and like the school day is progressing. Like he kind of peeks out of the attic when everyone goes to lunch, and he peeks out again later when everyone leaves for the day. And then like a thunderstorm rolls in, and he's in there reading while this thunderstorm's going on. And there's like a scene where some shutters blow open and knock some stuff over and like scare him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because like I feel like the juxtaposition of action in this film, like you get this awesome fantasy world, and every so often it's like, by the way, he's still reading in this attic.
But the scary moments or calm moments in the movie, the Fantasia world, also kind of reflect in the real world. So if there's like a scary thing happening, the shutters blow open.
I didn't think about that, but you're right.
And if like there's a calm moment, I think there's like a part where like Atreyu's eating food, and then he says he needs to save some for the long journey, and Bastion does the same thing with his apple. And
you're right. Yeah, he saves some food for later. He's gonna be up there a while.
On the journey together.
He's gonna binge read it.
How long is this book?
The book he's given is pretty big.
Yeah, it's a thick book.
It's a thick book, and I guess he manages to get through it in like a single day.
Wow,
quick reader.
Okay, so
but it's okay because it never ends.
So we're on a weird mountaintop with an old man who's looking through a telescope at these two naked lady statues.
They're like sphinxes, sort of.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
And he is predicting how to get through.
And we get to see a knight try and get between the statues, and it's like the one who it's like only like someone
only
who's
the chosen
worthy
one can get through.
Yeah, you have to be like totally pure and like a good guy overall or something.
Yeah, there's some sort of gimmick to it.
Yeah, of how to get through, how to get past these sphinxes.
And then the knight gets like zapped or something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and so they watch it through the telescope of like, as he's riding through, like their eyes open up. And
it's scary.
It is. It's really tense.
I think I remember when I was watching this only like 5 years ago or whatever. I was like, yeah, that was a really dark
that's
scene.
my favorite part of the movie.
It's a really
that's a really exciting part of the film. So their eyes open up and they shoot the knight with lasers, and you get to see like he falls off like the horse in his arm, and then his visor blows open and he's all fried inside.
What's beyond this area?
Atreyu gets in like this little basket and gets wheeled over down to where the sphinxes are basically, and goes in. And like runs through.
He just slowly walks through, and he like sees all like the deaths that the sphinxes have caused.
Yeah,
and their eyes start to open, but they end up just talking to him.
Yeah, I think they just end up telling him something.
Yeah, they tell him more about his journey.
So he's able to get through, and they give him information about who he needs to find, but it's like still kind of cryptic, and he's getting frustrated because he's trying to figure out.
He's trying to get a straight answer out of these
Yeah,
people.
he's trying to understand what he needs to do and who he's trying to find, and I think also throughout, like, we still see parts of Fantasia still getting destroyed by the Nothing.
Yep, and Nevermore still chasing him. And
Yes, yeah. Or does he take care of that in the swamp?
that comes up. He comes up again.
Okay.
So the statues give him some information. I'm forgetting what exactly it is, but they end up crumbling.
Yeah.
They end up like destroying themselves, like mid-sentence.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. They like self-destruct, and so then he kind of has to get out of there.
Yeah. So Falcor takes them somewhere, and there's a huge storm, and then Falcor gets lost, or he drops Atreyu in the storm,
Oh, I think yeah.
and then Atreyu's like ends up hanging out with Rockbiter, I think, and learning more about Nothing.
He meets the rock guy. He meets the guy who rides the snail super fast.
Yeah.
And they also kind of agree to help him. So they go with, and they all start to. I remember like the really cool scene where like they're all kind of racing somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I think he fights the Grimork either before or after he meets Rockbiter. The series of events that happen in this movie I'm a little fuzzy on.
Yeah,
but these things happen.
I'm sure we're gonna have corrections. Plenty of corrections once
yeah.
we watch it.
Yeah. Atreyu ends up in somewhere like a rock field, and he meets the Grimork, and the Grimork talks to him, telling him all about the Nothing. Like the Grimork actually gives him like some straight answers about what the heck's going on in this movie. And the Grimork says that he lost Atreyu. He was trying to kill this person, and he doesn't know. The Grimork doesn't know he's talking to Atreyu. Atreyu's like playing it off as he's somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Atreyu admits that he is him, and the Grimork attacks him.
Yep.
There's also some sweet cave paintings of stuff going on in the wolf. I think you see like a cave painting of the wolf, and then you see the actual wolf like come out of the cave.
Yes, you're right.
And it's pretty sweet.
Yep.
And then he ends up getting like a shard of rock or glass, and the Grimork basically like jumps at him and kills itself.
Yeah, he stabs it.
He stabs.
Unintentionally, almost.
He stabs the evil wolf.
Kills the wolf.
And I think the wolf was either caused by the Nothing,
or working
for it, or
somehow
yeah.
it was.
He's connected with the Nothing in some way.
Yeah, clearly a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're trying to. So he gets this information about he needs to find the chosen person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when. Like, is this when it starts? Like, the Nothing starts to affect the tower, or is this where he goes back to the tower?
Yeah, I think there's some moments in here I think we've hit, but they maybe last longer than I remember. But he ends up going to the tower riding on the snail, and there's like the snail is super fast for some reason.
Yeah, the snail is
He
like
rides
super
on a
fast.
snail?
He rides on
Yeah,
a
because there's
snail.
like a snail rider who was like from the beginning of the film.
Yeah, but how big is the snail? I was thinking
It's
like...
big.
No, it's like a horse-sized snail.
Oh,
And it's like, yeah,
okay.
super fast. And so he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get back to the place quick. And the guy's like, take the snail. And he's like, oh, I'm on it. And he like takes off on the snail.
Zoom!
Yeah.
So everything's awful and crumbling around. Atreyu meets up with the childlike Empress
Yep.
and tells her that he's failed, but she tells him that he didn't.
Yeah, he's like, I couldn't find like the hero that we were looking for. And
It's like, but you did, and he was with you this whole time. He's been with you
yes,
since the beginning of your journey.
and this is
and that's the reader.
And he starts to...
the kid starts to
Sebastian
realize,
starts
yeah.
to put it together. That he's the one being talked about.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of start describing him and like the study he's been reading. Yeah, he's been following all these events the whole time, and is like kind of an all-knowing thing. And this is like as they're
It's
discussing
like an
this,
allegory for like God or something like that.
I don't know about
Ooh.
that so much, but it might be. I'm going to have to re-examine this when we actually watch it. But and then this is when the Nothing's starting to approach the Ivory Tower. So things are starting to crumble at the tower itself.
Yeah, Fantasia's basically gone at this point, other than this.
Yeah, that's like all that's left, really. And then they're desperate. Like they're starting to get really desperate. Like everything's just falling apart. And the Empress says that like he just has to give her a name.
Yep, that's all. That's the whole plot of the film, was to give her a name, which you came up with at the beginning of it.
Yep.
Wait, what? To give her a name?
Yep, that's all that was needed.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I have no recollection of why that's, or if they even tell you why that's what will take care of everything. If it has to do with his connection to the book or something like that. But yeah, the idea, and so like the final scene is like the Atreyu being like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Just give me a name."
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's like reading this book, like, "Give her a name," because I think he still kind of thinks Atreyu is the one that's supposed to do this. And so he's starting to panic almost because like he's reading this book and time's running out, and he's like, "Why isn't he giving her name?" And finally, I think he realizes it, and at the very last second, like shouts a name and like throws the book out the window or something, or across the room maybe.
Yes, and do you know what the name was?
Chelsea.
It was his mother's name, and I had to put closed captioning on to hear it. I will have to again, but I think it's Moonchild.
I think you're right.
I think her mom's name was like a hippie name, I guess.
I think you're right.
Moonchild or Starchild
sounds right to me. Something like that. Yeah.
We'll have to put the closed captioning on, but you can barely hear it. And then he does throw the book, and then they cut to the childlike empress and Bastion just having a conversation.
Yeah, suddenly they're in the same place.
She's the childlike empress, and he gives her a name, Moonchild.
It was her mom's name.
She already has child in her name.
That was just a descriptor. Yeah. She was just the child empress.
Yeah, it's Starchild or Moonchild or it's some weird name.
And so then Bastion talks directly with
the childlike empress.
The childlike empress.
And is he in Fantasia or whatever it is, or
they're in like a limbo? Nowhere. Yeah, they're kind of in a nowhere.
Yeah,
like,
they're in a purgatory.
And she kind of
I feel like she's on like a they're on like a high platform or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
It could be. And I feel like him being like, what happened? She's like, there's basically like, she's like, there's nothing.
These but things.
He's like, you saved us, but there's nothing right now.
She kisses him though, right?
I mean, are you just hoping?
I don't think that.
Like, kid got through the whole book. I hope he got a smooch out of it.
I don't think there's a blank check situation.
No.
Well, this one's better because they're like the same age.
Yeah, unless the childlike empress is really old.
I don't think she is.
Blank Check has ruined every movie we watch. It's
she could look. Everything. Maybe she's childlike because she's like 1,000 years old, but she still looks like a child.
That's probably true.
She's the childlike empress.
That would make sense.
So Bastion saves the day, and then Falkor comes out of the book. It like cuts to Bastion riding Falkor in the real world.
Yes,
and he's chasing the bullies with the dragon.
But there's also shots showing that like now Fantasia's back to normal. Like there's a shot of Atreyu riding
Artax is back.
Artax through like the same fields as before, and I think that's where the kid flies over and Falcor's like, "Yeah, Atreyu," and Atreyu's like, "Hey, what up? I got a horse now. I don't need to ride the dog." And
are we sure it's the same horse?
We hope so.
I don't know. I would assume so because it seems like basically he rebooted the world. Is what it seems like.
Brought it back to point one.
The Big Bang.
Yeah,
occurred again.
So, what is this movie about?
It's about an old man risking an entire world trying to get a kid to read a book. I feel like anytime someone reads this book is when the nothing happens, and that this world just keeps getting destroyed over and over again.
I do think it's a Big Bang scenario where like the history just keeps repeating, like the same stuff keeps occurring over and over again.
I like your thought, Andy, about the man in the library. Like, does he have a connection to the story? Did he also go through?
I think it's implied that like he did the same thing because, and that he knows like what's up. Like he clearly read the book. I don't know if as a kid or not, but he definitely knows
the secret of the book.
The secret of the book, and so like he kind of has this knowing thing because I think the kid brings the book back to him or something.
I don't think he does.
Think so?
I think it just ends with Falkor.
But you're right. Yeah, he's flying Falkor in the Fantasia, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to him riding it through New York. And and he like because this is where like the whole thing takes place.
And then the last shot is like he rides it towards the camera, I believe.
Yeah, well, after chasing the bullies with the dog. So these bullies, who have up until this point know nothing else, are suddenly confronted with a flying dog creature that this kid is flying.
So his dad's kind of a bully too. How does that resolve?
That doesn't. Anything resolves
that doesn't
with that.
Resolve.
His dad still hates him.
Yes. In the second movie, the dad ends up rooting for him. And he's a good guy.
I don't remember anything about number 2 at all. I definitely saw it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Number 3, Jack Black's in it.
That's true.
Oh my
god. I didn't see that one.
I don't remember those at all. Just this one. And now that we've gone through it, I realize I remember a lot less than I thought I did.
I know. I remember.
I'm at the beginning of this podcast like, I'm pretty sure I know the whole film. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this order of events is going to be all over the place.
The content of the film, I think, just gets dragged out a lot. I think each of the scenes we talked about are like 20 minutes long in the movie. I don't think we really missed anything. The ending does get a little fuzzy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think this movie's really short, too.
I don't know.
I think I remember it being like
runtime
90-some minutes.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It's like right to the point.
Like I said, the biggest scene that just sticks out to me is when the friggin' horse dies. That's like the saddest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
It's the saddest thing anyone's ever seen in a film. There will never be anything sadder.
So be prepared for that, Andy. This is going to be a treasure for you because you don't remember much.
You don't remember the giant rock biter monster.
I know.
How do you not remember? He eats rocks.
Okay,
He's a rock guy that eats other rocks.
I think this is because I never really watched it. I don't think I remember watching this movie.
I thought you were going to say something like, I never really had a childhood.
That's probably true. No,
But-
I never watched this movie as a kid, and I'm pretty sure.
You only saw it when you were older?
Yeah, and I think I was kind of checked out of the whole idea, because I remember, like, all the puppetry and everything, I was like, oh, this looks kind of lame. At the time that I saw it.
Yeah,
but I'm
it
excited to watch it again and see what's going on. Because
find some value.
there's definitely like a subtext here that we're not really hitting upon.
Yeah.
Like, what's the purpose of the story?
I'm sure, like, as with almost every movie we've done so far, I've picked up on a lot of themes that I didn't get as a kid, that I really am curious to go back and re-examine this film and see if there's stuff that subtext I didn't get. I hope there is, because I do feel like otherwise it doesn't make much sense, but...
Right.
It's just, the Odyssey, just someone's
it's
journey.
the journey of the hero to save everyone. Yeah. So, which, when you're a kid, works. That's like all these movies where there are more adult themes. It's like they don't need to be there for kids to enjoy this film. But I'm very curious to see everything and if it's different than what we remember.
All right, so join us for part 2. We're going to watch the film and see what we got right and see what we got wrong. All right. We don't have ads on this episode, but if we did, they'd go here. But we don't, so enjoy the show.
Mona, I bring terrible news. Did you know that the Empress is very ill?
Not that it matters, but yes. Actually, we don't care.
If I don't save her, she'll die. There's a terrible nothing sweeping over the land. Don't you care about that?
We don't even care. Whether or not we care.
Turn around.
Every episode's gotta start with some
inside.
Well, this is a part 2, so we usually don't even have a start for a part 2.
That's true.
Yep.
Turn around.
Everyone just keeps singing that line.
Look at what you see.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Singing like Jack Black.
Brad's drunk. On Neverending Story.
All right, welcome to part 2 of Neverending Story. We sat down, we watched the film.
Yeah, it was a short, quick one.
Hour and a half. That's not
Was
bad.
it an hour and a half?
Yeah.
It did not feel
Yeah,
that.
it was
Actually,
like-
that's not true. It felt pretty long to me, but that's because I was not enjoying myself.
I'm gonna agree with you. There are many parts where I was just like, ugh.
Oh boy.
I will disagree, but also agree. There's about
Okay.
30 minutes of anything that happened in this film. In about an hour of crossfades,
Yeah,
or
that's-
him running,
Yes.
or things that don't... Of content. It's like 30 minutes of content in this film.
Right. There's
Yeah.
there's some really good moments.
Yeah,
But I think overall it's not a strong movie.
Definitely some good moments. I think I was actually surprised at there's sort of almost a contrast between sometimes they have really good effects and
Yep.
sometimes they have really bad effects.
Yes.
And I don't know.
What would you say was the worst effect and what was the best
The
effect
freaking
to
wolf
you?
creature was the worst.
You didn't like that?
I thought
the actual wolf?
Yes.
Or okay.
I like his just face talking, but
I
his,
did
his
not.
body was
I didn't
not
like
great.
it. I thought Falcor was impressive as a set piece.
So that's
I
your
don't
best
know.
Morris?
Falcor like really creeped me out, especially
Oh, he
his
totally
tongue.
creeps me out. Yes,
His
he totally
tongue
creeps
that
me
was
out.
moving sometimes.
I was
a
just
little
impressed
much.
that they built like this giant 40-foot long, fully motor controlled thing. Like that was just impressive. But like some of I thought the best effect, which was really subtle, was when he goes and meets like the eccentric scientist guy and the wife, and like
Yes.
they're like tiny, and like I never noticed any kind of trickery or anything like that. They just was genuinely like a tiny person and made him Atreyu look huge.
Yeah, was that old guy? Was that John Lennon? Did he not die?
Well, they do a little bit too, because Rockbiter is also giant, and they also
Yeah.
do like the. They're really good at telling you how big or small something is.
Yeah, like it was. I thought they did that very well.
The moment where Rockbiter was like talking about his hands and
Yeah,
everything,
that was weird.
it kind of got to me.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's a good monologue.
Yeah, I kind of want to learn that monologue and go on an audition and do the
It's- yeah, yeah.
strong hands monologue from Neverending Story.
I couldn't save.
That's like the bat, which we forgot was even existed.
Yes, okay, so that was
a
actually
really
one
cool
of my
thing.
early notes.
Yeah, so let's go right into the corrections and
Yeah.
things we got wrong, and then we'll get back to the stuff
we didn't. None of us mentioned that apparently this kid's mom recently died or was gone.
I thought we had mentioned it.
Yeah, I
but
thought
like,
maybe.
did
but
we?
I thought maybe.
We might have not directly
mentioned.
mentioned it, but that's how the story starts.
But I definitely like this. This kid's dad was like, he's like, look, your mom's dead. Get over it.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, his dad is the major dad. He's the dad
Oh.
from the TV show Major Dad.
I had to look this dad up. He's in a lot of stuff.
Dadsearch.com. Saved in Andy's browser.
No, this guy's like a huge actor. He's been
done
in
a lot
like
of things.
in the past 10 years. He's been in 5 like very successful TV shows. Like Longmire, he plays Raymond Tuff
Longmire.
in House of Cards. He's in a bunch of other shows.
Yeah.
So this guy has gotten a lot of work.
Did anyone notice the drink he made himself for breakfast?
An egg shot.
Orange juice?
It's orange juice and eggs. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah.
He's a man's man. He just drinks the essentials.
I'm watching him make it and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I wrote down Dad drank eggs for breakfast.
I wrote, what the fuck did the dad just make? Orange juice and eggs? Like, and as far as I
can't
can
be good
tell,
for his
I mean,
cholesterol.
What else do you need in the morning? You just need...
I mean, what is he? Is he
Sugar,
Rocky? Like, is he
protein.
going to go box some meat or something?
I don't know.
I
I'd be
know.
wondering what that dad
I
does.
think like drinking an egg was kind of a thing.
It was
back
well,
then.
yeah, and it was like a gotta get into shape. Like, drink a raw egg is like good for you. I
Yeah,
guess.
but he was going to work. He wasn't going to
Well,
work
it's just, like,
out.
clearly, his everyday like, nope, that's my breakfast: orange juice and an egg.
How many eggs do you think he had to drink in a take?
a
Did
take?
you
Oh, man.
do 7 different takes and he had to drink 7 different eggs?
I don't
That'd be
know.
Definitely had to keep really filling that juice glass.
Yeah, I bet he did it a couple times.
Yeah.
Before he threw up.
Oh man, that would have been rough.
So he skips class altogether.
Yes, we
something
did get the right about like in the beginning,
Yeah.
chased by bullies into a dumpster.
Yeah, but he never went to school.
I really didn't like that he got chased into the dumpster twice. It
I
felt
thought that was
very
really
weird.
funny.
He didn't
actually.
like that. Not again, he says. He says, not again.
I couldn't believe. Yeah, he gets out of the dumpster, comes out, and they're just standing there like, "What are you doing? Let's dumpster this kid again." And I thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
seemed
really
like a
funny.
very like half-assed joke or something.
I thought that was
It was
funny.
real bad.
There's a lot, but the boys had really cool backpacks.
I thought that too, actually.
Really nice.
Yeah, really interesting backpacks. No, yeah. So yeah, they chase him, and he runs to the bookstore, which we knew.
Yeah, we nailed the bookstore, I think.
I did have a question. The guy, when you go in,
Just
they go
one
in the
question?
bookstore. I have a lot of questions. There are a lot of plot holes. I feel like in this film. A lot
Are
of it
there?
didn't- Or either that, or they just don't explain anything, and I'm expected to have read the book or something.
Yeah.
But
Which it is based off of a
Yes.
book.
Yeah.
it is. So, like, he runs into the bookstore. The old guy's reading Neverending Story and then gives it to the kid. So, was this old guy just doing this? Did he create
It was
the
a
nothing?
setup, maybe?
Listen, he's mid-story,
He's
so
mid-story.
the nothing, that stuff's not being resolved in his storyline.
Yeah, I'm
because
like,
he's
is there
also
an
in the
alternate
story.
Fantasia that got destroyed because he's like, yeah, I'm done reading this. Here you go, kid.
Or anybody who reads it reads a different story.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh man, okay,
It's
that's
your
not
own,
so
it's
bad.
your own personal version.
I did
of
like
it.
that the old bookstore guy was like complaining about millennials before it was cool because he gets in, he's like, you kids and your bleep bloop video games, read a thing with let's call a book. And the kid's like, I've read books. He's like, oh, you're right. Mm-hmm.
I had a huge problem with this kid's acting.
I wrote down every scene that involves this kid. I wasn't sure if it was the scenes or his acting, but I'm pretty sure it was the acting. I was like, they all feel terrible and I don't want them.
I'm gonna jump right to the end because the childlike Empress's acting was amazing.
It made me
nailed it.
sad.
Yeah.
Her acting was amazing in comparison to Bastion's acting.
When
Which he
she's
was doing a
crying
lot
and
of
pleading.
eyeball acting, and it was too much.
I did not like. I was pretty sure it was the kids acting that turned me off of every scene that takes place in real life. I was like, I don't want this scene.
He's
here.
honestly in the movie for like 15
I thought
minutes.
Atreyu was good. I thought the Empress was very good.
When the childlike empress breaks the fourth wall, it just like destroys
Oh,
me every
man.
time I see it.
That was
She's
good.
pleading at you, the audience, to save her.
But yeah, totally agree. I did not like Bastion.
Yeah.
I did not like his acting. I didn't like the scenes he was in. He was not believable.
I thought maybe at the beginning I was like, oh, this kid's kind of good, and then he delivered some very weird lines. I didn't write any of them specifically down.
I
but
felt like everything was overacted, almost. But like, I don't know. I want to say overacting means that at least he's like trying, but I felt like he was not. Even...
So I watched the behind the scenes to this.
Oh man,
It's a
you were getting in depth on
45-minute documentary, and it's
That's
usually-
like longer than the movie.
I know. Yeah, and it's such an intimate scene. It's basically just this one kid acting, and then like a crowd of people making the film and the director like working with them like individually. So I just have to imagine like the pressure this kid.
I bet. Yeah, I mean, all his scenes are
just-
solo, so I guess that would be tough.
to like and then they're getting exactly what they want out of the kid from
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they take what
I
they
feel
want.
like they probably did get exactly what they wanted out of Atreyu and the childlike empresses, because their acting was great. His was just a little bit weird.
Yeah, I did read that apparently the Atreyu kid almost died in the swamp scene.
Yes.
Because his
He
leg
got
got caught.
He got caught with the wolf. The wolf jumped on him, and that's what was wrong.
Oh, I read that
No.
like he almost lost an eye in that scene, but when they were doing the horse scene, I guess they had like an elevator that was lowering the horse, and he got stuck in it, and it pulled him under, and he genuinely almost
Yeah,
drowned.
he did actually drown, and they brought him back to
Resuscitated
life.
him? Yeah.
This is what it says in
like-
IMDb,
I was
so
like,
it's hard to tell if
that's
that's
nuts.
true.
So in the documentary, one day of shooting in the swamp cost $120,000, and they shot there for 4 weeks.
It's a lot of money.
So-
I mean, I did read that this was a really expensive movie, and I believe it.
So if they were shooting 5 days a week, it would have cost $2.4 million just for the swamps.
And that's in what, 1980?
$4 or
$4?
$5. Yeah.
Yeah, 1984. I think this movie was 100 and like. Oh, this sounds wrong, but it was like $140 million. That
Most
might be
expensive film
like,
in Germany at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know it
because
was really
this is-
expensive.
like you just said, it's a German production. It's not from the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off into a tangent.
Can I go more on the swamp scene? Can we
Sure.
talk about it still?
Sure.
So when in the behind the scenes, the horse definitely does not want to be in the swamp because it's a horse, and it had to like fight its instinct to stay still in water while the elevator lowered down.
Yeah.
And I had the most horrific thought: that horse had to have pooped in that swamp.
Oh, probably.
It had to have pooped and peed in that swamp, and it was like
and
the
Atreyu
worst
was
thing
rolling
of
around in
all
it.
time. Yeah, that whole
I feel
scene.
like in
looks
general that
terribly
scene would have
disgusting.
been miserable to shoot for Atreyu, because, I mean...
He's covered in mud the whole time.
He's covered in mud the whole time. He falls in mud repeatedly.
Every
like,
time they want to do a take, there's a video of them like putting washing him down and washing the horse,
Oh, man.
cutting the horse's hair, cutting the swamp
what a
juice out
nightmare.
of it.
That would
Yeah,
have been such a
The scene looked
annoying
so hard to
scene.
shoot. It was
Yeah.
all on one set.
They must have had like the Humane Society or whatever on that set.
I didn't look
because-
for the message at the end or something. I don't know if they were doing that in the 80s, but they were like... The
I don't know,
no
because
parts,
I
yeah.
wrote down, did the horse literally think it was about to die?
Yes.
Because it looked afraid, and I kind of didn't like that.
The behind the scenes documentary, the horse is freaking out.
That scene is powerful, but I think that's also part of it, is that the horse is freaking out and the kid's like crying.
Here's the thing, though. Everybody talks about Atreyu dying. You meet Atreyu 2 minutes before it
Artax?
dies.
Artax.
Or
Oh,
Artax.
Artax, yeah.
Artax.
Yeah.
You meet Artax 2 minutes before it dies.
Oh, I don't think what maybe said was that I had a connection to Artax, then he dies. I think it was more that Atreyu sells that him and this horse have this relationship. Because in the movie, they're like, and they searched for a couple weeks. And I'm like, that's all we got with, like, clearly he's been riding this horse all over the place, so he's going to be really sad when it's dead.
There is one scene
But-
where Artax and him are by a river, and Artax is hungry and wakes him up, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
That's like the only time we really...
But yeah, there's not really
See
a good
Artax
opportunity to bond with the horse, but I think
Other than that
Atreyu sells that scene, and
Yeah.
you feel him losing someone that's his companion, not just like a tool that he rides around.
I would agree. So the first scene that you see in Fantasia is with like this goblin creature, the rock creature, Deep Roy, who's playing I don't know what.
I forget it was.
But you're right, we
It
did
was a
forget
teeny
all
weeny, I
about
think
the
his name
troll
was.
guy and the bat creature.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you meet those four characters first. That entire scene is overdubbed.
Yes,
Every
yep.
single
That's,
person.
I have a note.
Every
I said,
scene in this
this
movie is overdone.
I said this ADR is very bad. Like the acting was good, but it didn't match with the scenes at
Number
all.
one, Deep Roy is Indian, and then because of that, I think they overdubbed the Goblin guy. The entire scene is overdubbed. There's a weird thing where this is a German movie.
Yeah.
The entire movie is in English.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
They had the idea of selling it to the UK and Western audiences, so that's why they chose English. And they knew they were going to dub everything over again in different languages because they really wanted this. I mean, it was the biggest film that was going to come out of Germany. They wanted to get as many eyeballs on it as possible.
I could see that, but yeah, that scene like started me watching for their mouths, and yeah, the ADR is very bad.
You can see in the behind the scenes, you can hear Deep Roy's accent. He's Indian, I think. He has a very thick Indian accent, and it's just like, oh, maybe it would have worked if they would have just gone with it. But
Trying to think. So we go, and they go to the Empress. They're on their way to the Ivory Tower because nothing's destroying everything. They all go, and there's the cool racing snail takes off, and everyone's surprised because it's a snail.
Those people at the Ivory Tower. There were some weird.
There were.
Costumes.
They were kind of cool.
I like the one that was just a head,
Giant
a
head.
giant stone
heads.
head, and there's like a fish in the background.
Yeah, or like the forehead people.
I thought it was funny that like they all went there specifically, like everybody else did, because they were scared. But then they didn't go in with everybody. They watched from like outside the windows and were like, "We'll just hang out here." I'm like, "So were you not invited? Like everyone in there
I'm
is
not sure.
different."
I thought that was a little odd too. But we were wrong about something here. The Empress was sick.
Yeah, they said like they're all like, "Oh, the Empress will fix it," and the guy's
really
like,
sick.
"She's sick, so she can't because nothing is hurting her."
Also, you said that the guy with the multiple faces was in this film. That's only in part 2, where we see that
was
guy
it?
with the like.
Well, they
changeable
had
faces.
two of the people at the party were like they didn't flip faces, but they had like 4 faces around.
Okay, the flip face guy's in the part 2.
Yes,
I thought
yeah,
that's
that's
what we were
right.
talking About.
And you're right. I was thinking of flip face guy, but you're right.
We forgot about Rockbiter's Sweet Ride.
Man, yeah, his like tricycle thing.
Yeah.
His big
Is
wheel.
that what it is? I thought he was just pushing like.
A motor or something?
Yeah, I thought he was like pushing something. I couldn't tell that he
No,
was.
it's like a big wheel.
I could not
but for rock
get
bikers.
that.
But yeah, so the Empress is dying. So I also wrote this. I don't know if I missed it because I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but we were confused about what Atreyu's quest was.
Yeah.
And after they gave it to him, I was still confused about what his quest was. They're like, you have to go on a quest, Atreyu, because she's sick.
I think even he was
And
confused.
then, he leaves, and they're like, they searched for a cure for weeks. And I'm like, oh, so the quest is to search for a cure. I don't remember them saying that when he's there. I was very confused about why he left. But yeah, I guess they were supposed to just find...
He was trying to go to, like, the end of Fantasia?
Ultimately,
They
after
didn't
like
even
3
say.
different things.
It's not even that he's supposed to go somewhere. They just said, go find the cure. And they don't tell him anything else.
They say no advice, they say no weapons, and
So-
it seems like the most dangerous thing
I was like,
ever.
that's a
Just no one's
terrible
there to help
quest.
him.
But yeah, so that's why he's like... it seems like it's Atreyu's initiative to go find the turtle, because it's like the oldest, wisest being. So he's like, oh, well... I haven't found it anywhere else. I'll go ask this turtle. Maybe he knows. But that was...
I think that might be my favorite effect in the film was that turtle.
Oh,
Did we talk about the turtle in the original part
A little
1?
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Definitely.
It's sneezing.
Yep, we talked about it sneezing.
Do you think turtles can sneeze? I wrote that question down and I looked it up.
Yes, I'm sure they can.
Can a turtle
I would
sneeze?
think so.
I have to believe
Yeah,
they can.
they can.
All right.
It's adorable.
I bet it's adorable.
You can search YouTube for turtle sneezing and get the cutest video
Oh my god, I'm gonna look that up now.
of all time. Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just... I felt like the plot was weak here because they just didn't explain enough to me as the audience member to understand what's going on. They're like, we need to try you, and then they laugh at him because he's a kid. And they're like, go on this quest, but they don't tell him what the quest is. And then there's just a montage of him riding around for a while, and then they're like, a couple weeks later, he still hasn't done anything.
I would like to see the breakdown of the budget to this movie, because it's a really expensive movie, but it's only 90 minutes. There's very few... There's actually like no famous actors in this movie. Like, where did this all go to? Did it go to just like props
The effects,
and
I think the VFX, like I said, the Falcor they built was like a genuine, like 40-some foot long animatronic thing.
Yeah.
Everything was practical other than the storm sequences. But there's a part where Atreyu is holding on a tree and he's like a completely horizontal.
Sideways.
They built a set that tilted. And they actually shot that.
Oh,
they
man.
bolted the cameras to the set, tilted the set, and had the stunt double.
I don't think I wrote it down, but I remember watching the
Everything
scene
was
being
real.
like, this is like really good effects when the nothing was sucking up all the land and like good matte sequences.
All the matte paintings were awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of the effects
loved
were really
the
cool.
storm sequences. Like when the storms were swirling around, I was like, "This is really cool looking."
Looked really good. Yeah, man, that was crazy. But yeah, we were so he goes. You mentioned in the first half about saving food, and I thought that was the first in real life scene where the kid's reading it. He's like, "No,
I know,
not
like,
right now." And I thought I was
He
like,
had to save it out.
"This is a dumb scene."
I know.
Oh.
He's paralleling what Atreyu's going through.
I get that,
saving
but the
food.
way he
He's going
he
through the
looks
same
so
journey
hard
as
at this
he
sandwich
is.
after taking a bite. He's just like, "No,
Not yet.
not yet." Like I can't. I was
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he
"Oh."
like read the book, he put it aside and was
Scene
like,
was-
"Whoa!" And then he took a bite and he's like, "Whoa, slow down on the eating there,
That
son."
scene
And
was
then he
just
read the
bad.
book again.
It was just a bad scene.
He's going to be there for a long time. He was trying to.
They
space
also
out
had
his
like school ends at the point where he like hits the turtle, and I thought it was funny too because he comes down and pokes his head out. Everyone leaves like 5 minutes after the kids are out that door. The lights are off. Like
Yeah,
that
they're like,
school
"Shut
is
it
closed."
down.
He's got to save budget
Yeah,
money.
they-
It's expensive to be
They're
running
like,
lights
dang,
up in
it's
that place.
3:05. We need to be out of here. Building's locked. I was like, what school closes like 6 minutes after the kids leave?
Exactly. Just like right when the door's shut, everything.
They turn it off. They're like,
Everything
shut
shuts
it down.
I did want to jump back to the PB&J that he ate.
Yes.
I did write down kid skills. Talk to PB&J about portion control. The sentence doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
Was you about to go to bed right when you wrote that sentence?
No, the kid talked to his sandwich about portion control.
Very seriously, he's like, not all at once. And yeah, that scene was so bad. I did not care for that. I thought, now, going back to Fantasia, awesome scenes. The scenes with the turtle, that was so cool. The turtle was a really cool, animatronic face, and the voice paired really well with it. Sneezing him out of the tree a bunch was all really cool. So all those scenes I really enjoyed.
Yeah, they should have just showed more of that.
I did think it was funny, though, when, the turtle's like, you have to find the Oracle. It is 10,000 miles away. I was like, that's literally, like, if that was here, that's, like, on the other side of the planet. That's what that means in terms of distance.
In Morla's best quote, we don't even care whether or not we care.
Yeah, that turtle. Well, I mean, the turtle lives in the Swamp of Sadness. I'm sure it's depressed all the time. Yeah. It's probably a nihilist. You know how they get. But
swamp turtles.
Yeah,
they're all the same.
Ugh, you can't hold a conversation with them.
The two little people that are at the Southern Oracle also reminded me a lot of the two, like Billy Crystal.
Yes,
and,
from Princess
Bride.
I thought the exact same thing. Very much like a Miracle Max and his wife kind of situation. Mm-hmm. They were very funny, but she's like, "I'm taking care of him now." I didn't mention the first part, but as soon as I saw the scene, I remembered when she's like injecting Falcor with stuff, and I remember as a kid being like, "Oh God," because he has these giant needles.
Oh yeah,
going back to like that Beethoven and the needle, being afraid of needles.
Near the end there, the whole Fantasia explodes into pieces.
Yes.
I don't remember. I literally didn't remember that happening when I had originally seen it.
I remember them flying through and seeing chunks, because then they come upon the Ivory Tower just sitting on a chunk of land, and I remember that scene for sure. I thought that was it was kind of goofy, but I mean, it made it. I feel like in the context of the world, I wasn't going to question it. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Flying around, Fantasia's gone.
So then at the end, when when the boy who's reading the book has to give the Empress a name, his battle is literally just not wanting to believe that this is reality.
His conflict was not refusing to believe that he could be in the book, essentially.
Because he's told to believe that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like a big struggle to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have saved a lot more Fantasia just by playing along. Like, even if you don't believe, it's like, if they're telling you this, what's the harm?
Right.
Have some faith, kid.
Yeah, giving up your whole reality just to live in this fantasy world.
But I was saying, I remember making a note about how meta the film was when the Empress was talking to Atreyu, because she's like, he's been with you this whole time, watching your journey, and others have been watching his. And I was like, whoa!
Where are the others? I've been doing it!
So meta. That was pretty funny.
Atreyu never rides the snail. That never happened.
Oh, did we say that?
We said that happened.
How dumb are we?
I know.
God.
The Atreyus never get said by Bastion. The only time Atreyu hears Bastion is in the swamp with Morla. So the consequences of a kid with wishes seems like it's always going to turn out bad. This kid is going to use it for a Twilight Zone episode.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
this kid's first go-to is go back to my planet and scare the bullies.
I wrote down. I was like, suddenly, I guess he gets wishes now, and that his first wish was what
to ride Falcor.
It was it. It seemed like his wish was Fantasia was back together again because he's flying with Falcor. But then number 2 on the list was I want Falcor to scare these bullies, and Falcor was uncomfortably enjoying that experience. Like he thought it was funny as hell to scare the crap out of those bullies.
I can imagine Falcor being like a sex offender.
There were some moments where he was flirting with the kids a little bit.
Yeah, he comes off I think he even says, I like children.
He loves children.
Have we been infected by Blank Check to see this in every movie?
The giant flying dog might also be.
Inappropriate relationships with children?
I absolutely love the final narration when they were like, they showed the first 2 wishes and then they said, and then he wished for other stuff.
I wrote cheesy voiceover ending because, the line of, he went to have other adventures, but I'm not telling you about that. It was so
this is only the first half of the book.
Oh,
it's only 189 pages of it. And I have a big reveal. I read the book.
What? Did you read it for this?
Yes. I went above and beyond to read the book.
You went full Neverending Story for this, Brad.
I did. They're called the Rock Chewers, not the Rock Biters. That seems like just an arguable change, right?
Yeah.
The dude who sends him Atreyu on the quest is a centaur man.
All the effects they pulled off from this film, they didn't do the Centaur Man?
Atreyu's skin is green, and he's part of a tribe called the Greenskins.
Yeah.
I did hear that they tried to make his skin green, but it looked really bad.
I could see that. This was, I feel like makeup at the time may not be up to full green body paint.
Artax can talk.
What?
It's just a talking horse.
They should have given that horse peanut butter.
Which you actually do. It makes the Swamp of Sadness scene more sad because he has more
connect
connection
much
with
more
the thing.
you realize that Artax is a creature.
I'm just imagining like Mr. Ed like trying to deliver the lines back to Atreyu.
There's a scene after Atreyu meets Morla in the swamp where he goes to meet something called Gargmal the Many, which is just a horde of like hornets that like take whatever form they want, and the hornets have Falkor captured. And the hornets have some sort of poison, and if you're injected with the poison, you get to wish. You get one wish, and as long as it's to be wherever you want to be. So Atreyu gets bitten by the hornets, and Falkor also gets bitten by the hornets, and then they wish to go to the Southern Oracle, and they only have an hour to live, and that's why those two people heal him, and also why Falkor's getting a shot in the movie. Which doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they want that piece of continuity?
Because, in the movie, it's just sort of like Falcor's just getting a checkup by this apothecary that lives in
I believe I read that they couldn't shoot those sequences with the Hornets.
They spent all their budget.
They spent
on
it all.
The other stuff. Yeah, I mean, all the effects in this. That scene would have, like, doubled the budget for this film, I bet. So, I can understand.
Bastion has to use the bathroom in the book, which makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
And there's a whole
you don't want to shoot that.
I was gonna say, you know what creative change I'm not gonna be upset with? Less Bastion scenes. They were all terrible.
But this just goes to show you, like, the whole point of him pooping in the book was to show you how this never really happens. Like, no one ever writes, oh, someone has to use the bathroom. It was like sort of a way for the author to be. People need to do everyday things in books.
Okay, I get that. That makes sense.
The Mirror Gate, which we completely forgot.
We did. Yeah, the second gate to after the Sphinxes.
So there's a lot more explanation, obviously, because it's a book. But the Mirror Gate will show you your innermost nature.
Yeah, they kind of explained it in the film, but not very well.
They explained it, but then nothing happens.
It shows you your true self, and then it showed a Bastion. I was like, so he is Bastion? Because then they're like, the Empress is like, no, Bastion's separate from you. I was like, but Bastion was true. This did not work well.
But that scene was actually really cool, and the way that they held the shot with the snow was actually kind of awesome. There are 3 gates, not just the 2 gates. The third gate is called the No-Key Gate, and the only way to get through it is to not want to get through it.
What?
Yeah. So you get to a point Atreyu gets to a point where he just like has to figure out how to get through a gate without wanting to get through a gate.
Interesting.
That's the whole point. The Southern Oracle is just a voice in the book. It's not the 2 statues.
I was like, I kind of felt like I was like, did they shoot the gate sequence and we're like, well, we've got these Sphinx statues. Let's just make them a different color and a little more lizard-like, and then we'll do it again.
Definitely the same thing.
And the author actually hated those Sphinxes. He hated the bosoms on them. They like weren't what do you
They
imagine?
were stacked.
He apparently hated the movie.
Yeah. But everything it's in the documentary about what stuff he hates, and it's mostly just the art direction. It's just not how he saw it in his mind. The Nothing kills the Sphinxes and like destroys that part, destroys the Southern Oracle.
They didn't really explain it, but they just sort of fell apart in the movie.
There are wind giants that are fighting, and that's why Falkor and Atreyu Atreyu falls off Falkor.
Fighting wing giants.
4 giant wind giants are fighting each other. And Atreyu lands in something called Spook City, which is that weird city we do see in the movie that comes out of places.
And we
like
mentioned
gems
that him seeing like the mural that depicts all the things that happened, and it is pretty cool when he sees the painting of like the wolf's head and then turns around and it's like right there. I thought that was pretty cool.
This is one of my favorite parts in the book is when he meets the Gamork. The Gamork is a werewolf. He's human when he goes to Earth, and he's a wolf when he goes to Fantasia. So he is actually going in between the worlds at some point.
What?
And he has that ability.
Is that in Neverending Story 2?
They should.
He's dead after 1, I guess.
The Nothing takes you to the human world. So like that's what's happening to all of Fantasia, as it's like slowly falling into the human world, and everything that goes into the human world turns into lies. So it's every time you tell somebody a lie or you're like mean to somebody, it's basically anytime something bad happens in our world, it destroys a piece of Fantasia.
Good God.
Huh. So would you recommend the book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It seemed really good, and
All
the
right.
chapters were short.
I will have to check it out.
The Gamorg says it turns you into lies. You buy it whenever you buy things you don't need or hate things you know nothing about.
Oh,
that
man.
That is part of the nothing winning.
America
beating
is
Fantasia.
destroying Fantasia because that's pretty much all we do.
Hey, you said it, not me.
That's basically and the rest of the part's pretty faithful. But
I did think that Anna Kendricks did a really good job playing Atreyu in this movie.
Nice. I thought the guy who played Atreyu, did a good job. I liked Atreyu's acting. It was Bastian's acting I had a huge problem with.
Yeah.
I did not like. So that's, all the scenes in the real world. I thought the attic scene was really cool as a set, and I enjoyed some of the parts they did, but...
I was confused by there being skulls in the background, but then, like, there was, like...
anatomy class.
It was,
and then-
full skeleton
but then they
things in
showed
there,
later
yeah.
on it was a full skeleton.
Right.
Red skeleton.
Oh, I did.
The wolf falling over was really scary too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the wolf said like,
Wolf said fall
just
right
comes
on-
right at him.
on the Bastion.
I had a question about when he goes through the Sphinx, the gate, the first gate, and he starts to doubt himself. The eyes open up, and then they shoot lasers, but he's not dead. Did he just like beat the system, or were they supposed to not hit him? Because in the movie, like the knight goes in, gets blasted by the lasers. The tree goes in, they try to blast him with lasers, and I feel like he just jumps. And I was like,
He
first
just
knight
jumped
could
out
have
of the
just
way.
totally dodged those lasers.
I think that's just like a dumb action scene. We're like, oh, we need to have a little more,
So I was
stakes
like,
to the scene.
I was like, did
so
he
let's
really
just do
actually
this.
pass the first gate, or did he just luck past the first gate with
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
That made that unclear, but in the book, it's very clear that they just let him through.
Yeah, in general, I just felt like there wasn't enough explanation in the movie about what was going on, so I didn't care enough about a lot of that stuff. Like I said, I loved the effects, really cool. Visually, this movie was great, and I enjoyed the acting from the Empress and Atreyu, and like creatures were cool. But overall, the plot did not hit me. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, this story I do not care about.
It was missing a lot of details, and I was actually really glad that I read the book because I got a lot more out of the movie because I kind of understood the stuff they didn't explain
Yeah,
better.
and I think-
I know what the nothing is. I know what Atreyu's
Yeah.
plans are. I know what the childlike empress was trying to do by sending Atreyu on these quests. I know that, I knew a lot of different things that just were not explained very well.
Okay, yeah, and that makes more sense. I think I might go and try to read that book because
And arguably, they could put that all in the book, and it would still be an hour and a half. They were just really slow in making this film.
Yeah, for sure.
They wasted a lot of time.
There was a lot of really
scenes.
weird like crossfades, and especially when like Atreyu was on Falkor for the first time, I was like, "Come on!" Like it was just like montage after montage of him just riding Falkor.
And you can go to Germany right now. They have a Falkor that you can sit on and ride.
What?
And they take a video of it, and that's something that still exists in the.
I feel like it's going to be in some really depressing,
Bavarian
like,
film archive.
almost theme park.
It looks everyone who's writing it looks very sad.
Is it in the Swamp of Sadness?
So then, the song "Neverending Story."
Oh my gosh!
Here we go. Here we go.
I kind of hate it. First of all,
Aw.
So you missed out on the song?
Yeah, it wasn't the version that I saw. I think I'd watched like the UK version or something.
yeah, it's sang by the lead singer of an '80s band called Kaja Gugu.
That's
I thought it came up as Lim Hall. Lim Hall?
Yeah,
Is the name of the
that's
band?
his name. No,
Okay.
it's just the lead singer of that band.
oh man, that's so 80s.
Yeah, oh god. Look up their song Too Shy Shy.
Hush,
Oh,
hush,
they did
eye to
Too
eye?
They did Too Shy Shy,
Oh,
Hush Hush,
man.
Eye to Eye.
Okay.
That's what they're known for. I think they're a one-hit wonder.
All right.
Well, I mean,
well,
Neverending Story
'cause
definitely
this
cracked
song.
the billboards.
You think
Oh.
so?
I think I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I
In
looked
Germany.
Well, I don't even know if it was in the German version because it was added to the American.
Oh yeah,
version.
you're
Oh,
right.
right.
You're right.
It was maybe like after the fact it came back around.
So that's who sang Neverending Story. Did it only play one or two
I
times?
thought it was the beginning. Well, he wouldn't know, but I
I
think
don't
it was
know.
the beginning and the end.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was like, I didn't need this song that much. in this movie.
In the German version, for the opening credits, did they just play like industrial music instead?
Rammstein plays at the beginning of the movie.
It gives the movie a very different
Yeah.
feel.
Du Hast is playing.
Oh man, that'd be. I'd put that in there. Let's re-edit this film.
I would go back and watch it just for that.
It makes the Falcor flying scenes a lot more
Oh
intense.
man, so metal. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
All right, do you have any final thoughts to wrap us up?
We already covered if it holds up, so I don't really need to ask.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Dude,
I would
I'm not-
recommend this movie.
I'm not gonna watch it again. This was enough. I didn't care for it. The story was... Vex were cool. It's worth a watch the one time just to see some really cool effects from the 80s.
If I have kids one day, I'm definitely going to be watching this film again.
But, oof.
Because I want them to see... Because this is the whole 80s, like, depressing kids films, right? There's, like, a bunch of them that came out, and this is one of them.
But this, like... This was the
and
first
I'm happy
one
that it exists.
This is one of the first films we watched for this, where I had to... I, like, watched it in parts because I had to take breaks. I was like, I'm not into this film. I'm gonna go do something real quick, and we'll come back to it. Which usually is what Andy Moldy does, but
and I did it.
Usually I have to watch a movie straight through, and this one I was like, I can take some time.
All right, thanks for listening, and join us next week when we're going to talk about The Cable Guy. Please rate, like, and subscribe to us on iTunes. Find us on Twitter at What We Remember, Instagram at What We Remember, and WhatWeRemember.com. If you're from the Metro Detroit area and you would like to book us for a live podcast and a movie event, contact us at whatwerememberemail@gmail.com and look at our website, whatweremember.com, for more details.